Show you how to clean your own carburetor. Go ahead, take a 10 millimeter. Take out this. There's also two on the side. There's one there, and there's one right here. We go ahead. We're gonna go ahead and pull those four out. Pop this here off. Put this halfway towards the widest. I'm gonna pop this primer ball off. Take the hose off the back of it, and have at it. Here we go. Tip: magnetic trays. Take this here, go ahead and pop it out. Pry up this way. Push your hand down, pry it up. Okay, if you wiggle the thing enough, you get it to slip off over top of that. You won't need to pull it off. Clamps where you hold your hoses in place. Just remember where it was. You Phillips screwdriver, take off one there and one there. Pull them out. Pull them in. Gently take that off. Got a 10 millimeter here, 10 millimeter there. This. And right here, we got to disconnect this vent line from the top of your valve cover. Disconnect that. All right, when you pull this off, be careful because there's two little ferrules in here and they're probably going to come off. You don't want to drop and lose them. Gently remove your gasket. You clamp off the fuel line if it doesn't have a shutoff. Just pretend it's an artery and clamp. Take the fuel clamp here, squeeze. Off, give it a little twist. This next part's important. So when you pull these off, you have a governor linkage here, and you want to pull the carburetor out far enough, and I can only do this with two hands, far enough to where you see how that lines up straight, that little bar right there. You pull it out, then you can lift that linkage out of there. But you got to be careful because you got the spring here also. You want to take out, and I'm going to use a tiny pair of pliers to pull that and twist it so I don't bend this up and ruin it. So now, also be very careful you don't let that spring back because it'll disconnect off of the governor arm. So that'll add at least an hour to your time. So once you do that, now your carburetor will come sliding right off. It's a 10 millimeter, and we're going to go ahead and drain this into my can over here first. Okay, we got a good example of what's going on here. So what you got here is this is how the fuel crystallizes or gels. Those crystals work their way up into your jets, and that little tiny jet in there, I'm going to pull that out, clean it. There's also one underneath of your idle control. There are two right here on the front. And that's just an airway, but for your low speed idle, but I cleaned that anyway. Get this all cleaned up and put it back on. Okay, to pull that jet out of there, you need a small flathead screwdriver. You do not want to force it. If you try forcing it and that brass is very brittle, it breaks off, forget it, you're done. You'll be calling me and we're gonna have to go ahead and extract it or replace the carburetor. So let's go ahead and take that out. Okay, this jetway is two-piece, okay? So first you have this here. As you can see, it's a whole tail light. Get it focused. You cannot see light through it, okay? This here, it is clogged up. So what we're gonna do, I use a set of torch tips cleaners, and we're gonna go ahead and clean this out. Take a tip cleaner and shove it to the hole. Clean it up good. Now we can see light through that again. Go ahead and sit this one down in the clean area. And this is a two-piece jet set. We also have this piece here, and it has 5 holes on one side and 6 on the other. And if we hold this up to the light, you'll be able to see the light through some of them, but not all. You got to get all of them cleaned out. So go ahead and clean each one of those individually. To clean these, what I do, if you got a wire brush, pull one of the strands out of the wire brush. It's perfect size to clean these holes. Go ahead and clean them all. There's also 2 holes on top as well. Focus. You can kind of see light. You can see it there. It's not focusing very well. But All cleaned up, put it back together. Clean these jets here on the front. Give it a little blow. Put the back one out. And then this passage here, take this out. Count the number of turns this comes out. I like to do it a half turn at a time. Once that's out, you pop this out, clean it. That's a big hole. It's typically never dirty when the carburetor is that clean, but I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway. But I'm not going to show you because I don't want to make this video take too long. Clean your bowl thoroughly, giggity. And when you're ready to put it back together, just make sure that this screw here, that's a drain screw. Make sure that's accessible to the side of the generator that you would get on. While you're doing this, make sure you don't lose your bowl seal. If you lose that, it's going to leak fuel everywhere when you put it back together. Going to have a bad time. I know that the choke linkage is going to be in front, so I'm going to put the drain nut on this side, so when the carburetor goes on, it's like this, and the drain nut is accessible. Assemble the way you took it off, just in reverse. And again, be careful with your governor linkage, and that's all you really got to worry about. Back here, the seal looks good on the back. No need to replace that. And let's have at it. When you put it back together, these 4 bolts, short ones go on the side, long ones go in the front. If you did a good job, come out here, put it in choke, hit your primer ball 1, 2, 3 times, 1 pull. Carry move.